Welcome to Say You
Wow.
Think You're Iconic, the movie podcast where we we've really failed. When you're listening to this, our 1 year anniversary was like 2 weeks ago, and we did not mention it
Yeah, we
at all.
didn't.
And I remembered beforehand, and I still didn't mention it.
Yeah.
So
Happy belated birthday
yeah, we
to
had our
us.
we had our own little tech celebration,
Yeah, we did. We really
but
did.
that did not happen on here.
No, we
So
didn't mention it. I didn't
yay.
post anything.
No, nothing happened.
So
Twitter
yay.
even sent us a little announcement saying it was our 1 year anniversary.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Oh,
That's cute though.
yeah.
We've made it,
We
y'all.
made
We
it.
made it to 1 year.
It's been a rough year, but we made
It
it.
has been a rough year, but we've done it. We're alive.
Mm. Still in a pandemic though. That sucks.
Still, yeah. So some things have changed. Not a lot has changed.
Not a lot has changed. I can go outside a little bit now though.
Yeah.
It's looking like we're gonna go back in.
I've got a job now. That's different.
Yeah. Okay. How was your week, Kelley?
It was all right. I had to work a lot more this week. I did some overtime.
Ooh, money,
Yeah.
money.
Money. They sent the office phone with me. So now I work a little bit on Mondays too. Yay.
My job is I'm not eligible for overtime, so
Really?
it's
Oh,
fine. I
yeah.
make plenty of money
Yeah, you
without
do.
it.
You make
So
more than I do.
I am fine. Yeah, I probably still made more money than you this week, even with
You
all your
did. You
overtime.
absolutely did. I am starting to schedule my dog to get neutered.
Oh,
She has no idea what's going to hit her.
we've had Dash for over a year, and he still has not got the chip, the snip. So I don't know
Oh, really?
I don't know what's happening, and he's getting a little bit more aggressive with his humping. See what happens.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess where I'm taking her, they want her to be licensed. And yeah, I spent $65 getting her licensed last night. So 67 actually, because there was a stupid service fee. But
that's so ghetto. We have to pay for licenses for animals.
Yeah, it's so ghetto. And there's a little asterisk at the bottom because there's difference in prices between dogs that are spayed or neutered versus unspayed or neutered. The spayed and neutered license is $25. And I'm like, bruh, she is gonna be spayed, but she's not currently.
So you pay less because it can't reproduce. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So, but I needed to get her license, and it's not like I can be like, yeah, she has an appointment to get spayed and neutered. So can I get the $25 one? They won't let that fly.
No.
So I'm a little upset about that.
I would be too.
Yeah. That's me.
As for me, it was a boring week work-wise. Always is. To kick it all off though, Thursday went to the movies, wanted to go see actually I didn't even really want to see Candyman, but I have to support Black people, so I was gonna go watch it.
Good for you.
Bought my ticket, was in a theater, masked up, of course, that's me. Sitting there, the trailers start, and then they played the Candyman trailer before the movie. It was at that moment I should have known something bad was about to happen.
Yeah.
So they played that.
Yeah.
And then the movie starts, and I noticed it's kind of flickering a little, but I'm like, maybe that's an artistic choice. I'm like, it works, I guess. And so watching the movie, and then at one point, while a man is telling a story about how Candyman came to be or whatever, the screen goes black, but we can still hear talking. So I'm like, is this another artistic choice? Because then not even 10 seconds, like 5 seconds later, the screen comes back on. So I was like, maybe it was an artistic choice and they just didn't want to show us what was happening on screen, and then they'll show us later in the movie.
Right.
No, babe, no. Because literally 5 minutes later, both the screen and the sound went out and we were sitting in the dark.
Again.
And then eventually some people got up and was like, what's going on? The projector broke. This is the same movie theater I went to where I tried to go watch Old and the projector broke. So I'm never going to this movie theater ever again.
Yeah, Jordan's not having luck with this theater.
No. I will go out of my way to go to the one I know has worked for years.
Which one did you go to?
The one at the mall.
Oh, you should have known, man.
Yeah, never again. I will either go to the one downtown or to the next city over.
Yeah.
Never again. Because like it's been like what, a month, and this has happened twice.
Yeah.
That's not
normal. You've had one movie work for you, right?
No, I've seen like maybe 3 movies there.
Oh, okay.
I've seen Fast 9 that worked there. Of course, Fast 9 worked. The Jungle Cruise there, and I saw Free Guy there, and those all worked. And then like a couple of years ago, I saw Joker there. But that's like when it like first opened, so of course everything was like new and shiny.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I'm never going to that movie. I'm never going to that movie theater again. But now I can see Shang-Chi for free.
Oh true.
I got a free ticket. Yay!
I mean, I guess that's the only good thing.
Yeah, that's the only good thing. The money will be going to a different theater, but yay!
But the free ticket I'm using there.
Yeah. Love that for me. Yeah, and then it's been super hot. Coupled with the fact that the air is unbreathable, so we can't even go outside.
Is it still bad where you are?
No, it's gotten much better.
Okay.
It still looks bad, but the air quality is not that bad.
Yeah. I can see a little bit of blue, but it's still hazy.
Yeah, that's how it is.
But it's not, it's me. I can't smell any smoke, so.
Yeah, and I check the air quality every day. It's 52 moderate right now, so like I'm good. Like if
74 moderate.
If I wanted to go outside, I would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. Other than the movie debacle, it was a pretty boring week.
I feel like that's just like the moment you get a job. I feel like that's just life.
It's just life. How do y'all do this? How?
Right. I am 2 months in, and I'm just like, I never wanted work another day in my life. I need to find an older, rich person to
take care of me,
support me. Yeah.
Yep. I was just on a vacation last month, and I'm already ready to go on another one.
Yeah, he sent me a thing about wanting to go on vacation. He's like, talk me out of it. And I sent him multiple points. I had good points.
They weren't good.
I had good points.
I could easily talk out of those points. You know me. You need to think more outside of the box. Don't know what to tell you. The only thing that got me was that like I don't have enough money to do that. That was it.
And that should have been your stopping point.
Girl, that has literally never stopped me before. The first time I went on a trip with Sabrina, I was a broke college student. I came back with $2 in my bank account.
Jesus Christ. Bro, I don't even let my bank account get below 100. It freaks me out.
No, literally being broke has never stopped me from going on a trip. Ever. Ever. If there's one
broke, but you're happy.
If there's one thing I'm gonna do in this life, it's have fun.
Right.
Have fun and eat. That's what
you're here
I'm
for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly.
Right.
Speaking of good times, I think it's time we start discussing this movie.
Yay! I picked this because everyone's going back to school. I know this isn't like a back to school kind of movie, but there's school involved.
And according to TikTok, everybody is dropping out in their first week.
Really?
I've seen so many TikToks of kids going and like during their first week of school just dropping out. They're like, I can't
Really?
do this anymore, and they leave. Which, like, I don't blame them. They haven't been in a
Yeah.
classroom in like 2 years.
Yeah, that is fair. That's very
So,
fair.
mm,
Yeah. And I mean, if you're used to online school and it works for you, I mean, why spend the extra money to actually show up to a class? I'm just saying. Anyway, the movie that we are doing this week is Legally Blonde. So the movie starts and we see a letter for Elle get sent to Delta Nu and his pastor on the sorority. And it's a card that's wishing her luck with Warner as we watch Elle getting ready.
so quick question.
Yes.
Who sent that card? Was it someone from Delta Nu? Because they did not get the letter from Delta Nu.
To Nu. Yeah. I don't know. Was it like another sorority that knew Elle and they're like, let's pass it around all the sororities?
Maybe, sure.
Maybe?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Or maybe it's one of those like I know a girl that's gonna make it and then she's gonna drop it off and we sign it.
Sure. Let's hope that.
Sure.
Let's
sure.
hope that, because that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, because this letter comes from absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. Like that girl has to like pedal through campus to get to their house.
Yeah, she's going across campus.
Speaking of
and
house.
It seems like a huge campus. Yeah.
Speaking of house, I get that sorority houses are huge. Mm-hmm. Like I get that. But this one had a gym with like multiple cardio machines in it.
Right.
How?
Like I will say that my dorm had a women's only gym. Mm-hmm. And it was huge.
Did it?
But only because yeah.
Where?
You know where the kitchen is?
Yeah.
There's a room right next to it. It's like a huge social hall, and that we used it as a storage / gym.
Okay.
We had 4 treadmills. We had 2 ellipticals. We had a weight machine.
Okay.
Yoga mats. Yeah, the whole deal.
Okay.
I mean, it was ghetto. The other machines were old, but they worked.
Don't ask me if my school had a gym or what was in it, because I know we had a gym. But to use it, I think you had to like sign up technically for a class. And then if you didn't go a certain amount of times, you would like fail. And so I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no.
Like, what if I really, first off, I did not like to be on campus more than I had to. Secondly, what if I didn't feel like working out for 2 weeks straight, like sometimes happens?
Right.
I'm going to fail because I didn't feel like going to the gym.
Like I was busy or I didn't feel like going. Like, come on now.
Absolutely not. That was not going to happen for me.
How strange. Yeah, our gym is just open to everybody. Like the main gym that we had on campus. Not the one in
gym. Gym.
Shut up. So the letter is delivered as Elle and Warner make dinner plans on the phone. Elle then meets up with Margot and Serena, and she thanks them for the card, and they talk about how she's potentially going to be engaged tonight at dinner. They then all go shopping for the perfect dress, where a retail worker tries to trick Elle into buying a last season dress that's on sale for full price, but Elle puts her in her place.
Why didn't you just try to sell her a new dress? I didn't understand that.
I think she wanted to humiliate Elle. I don't understand. Like trick her into buying a sale dress for full price.
That made absolutely no sense. I was like, girl, just sell her a full price dress. Like, right. Why?
Right. Just you could have gotten a huge commission for selling her a better dress.
But now you get
probably
nothing.
More money.
Now you get nothing.
Right, I get nothing. Also, if you don't know if you know the musical, it's oh my god,
oh my god, you guys.
That night, Warner shows up to Delta Nu, and the girls are there to see Elle off with him.
So the guy who plays Warner, he's also in the Vampire Diaries Legacies, terrible show, but like, yeah.
He's in Legacies?
Yeah, he's on Legacies. Recently found out he is a terrible person in real life, so We hate him both on and off screen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. We're all in agreement here.
Yeah, we're all in agreement. He sucks.
Yeah. So once at the restaurant, the evening is going well when Warner brings up the future and how he's wanting to be more serious when he gets to Harvard. Elle is super supportive and says I do when she thinks he is proposing when he is actually breaking up with her.
Why was he breaking up with her? Like
because he's his reasoning is very flimsy. He says he wants a quote unquote serious girl.
What most rich people want arm candy. Don't understand what his family like. Anything I could think of that would like want his family to push her aside, she doesn't have. Like, she is a straight A student.
Right.
She is president of her sorority. She's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. She's nice. She's super nice.
She's super nice. Could get along with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how that is not wife material.
Right. And she's super supportive.
Because
like he says he's going to go to Harvard and she's like, yeah, absolutely. I'm going with you.
You have a great time.
Yeah.
And she's like rich.
Yeah.
I'm very confused. Also, he doesn't seem like the type of man who would want to be with a woman who is smarter than him.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Or more successful than him.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that going to work?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Does he think he's going to find this super competitive, wants to be a lawyer at a top 3 firm woman, and then when he marries her, she's just going to want to stay home? Because that's not going to happen.
Right. No. Like, I feel like the best he could have done was Elle. Elle. She was way out of his league.
Yes.
Like, he's cute, but the moment he opened his mouth, I would have been like, I am out of here. I'm sorry.
Anytime he speaks, I'm like, why does she like you?
Right. He's such an asshole.
Yeah. Like,
I feel like,
did none of her friends be like, hey, sis, he's not it? Like, none of them?
I don't know.
I'm guessing he never spoke to any of them.
Probably not. Probably not. I think the only reason that like makes sense would be he wants a woman with like a prestigious last name and old money. And I guess that's on the East Coast. I don't know.
The whole concept of old money and new money is ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Like, who cares when your family got the money? Your family still has the money.
Right. If you're rich, you're rich. What's the difference?
In fact, I would be more wary of old money because that money's built off the back of slaves. So
there's drama, there's blood, I'm sure there's death involved.
There's death involved. Mob ties.
There's illegal. Yeah, exactly.
At least with new money, it's because they like build a company or something like that.
Right. Okay, so Elle starts to freak out and cause a scene when he tries to explain why he's breaking up with her. And when she doesn't like what she's hearing, she just stands up and leaves, which good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Elle is walking back to Delta Nu when Warner pulls up to her with his car. He tries to reason with her and says that he's trying to live up to his family's expectations for him, but she won't listen and get in the car until he mentions how she'll mess up her shoes. And she finally gets back into the car and he takes her back. Days later, Elle is still sulking in her room when Margot and Serena stop by and finally get her out of the room by going to the nail salon. At the salon, Serena talks about Elle's situation with her nail tech.
Right in front of Elle.
Yeah, right in front of Elle.
They are talking about Elle and she is like 5 feet away.
And they're not being quiet.
They're not.
They're full voice.
I mean, at one point she starts speaking like Cantonese or Mandarin or something to the woman, but it's only for like one sentence.
Yeah, it's only to say that she's like really messed up at the moment and she won't get a man with those cuticles.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like the thing that she could have said out loud.
Yeah.
So Elle finds a article about Warner's older brother's marriage to a Vanderbilt in a magazine and convinces herself that that's the woman that she needs to be.
Are
And
there
she
any
says she needs,
Vanderbilts left?
I don't know.
Because I feel like they were all girls. And then so like the name is gone. I feel
Yeah, the
like
name's
that name is
gone.
I feel like that name is gone. Just like there's not going to be any more Hiltons.
Right,
So
right.
I think there's
Unless a
one
man,
male.
unless
I think there's
unless a
one
man wants
male
to take the
Hilton.
last name.
Yeah, I think there's literally one male Hilton left.
Also, if you did marry any of these women, wouldn't you want their last name?
I don't think so.
No?
I think
Because
it's just like the prestige of knowing that you had a
oh,
Vanderbilt or a Hilton or a I don't know
whatever.
Bloomberg. Is that are
Yeah.
there any
I
Bloombergs that aren't 90 years old anymore?
Are there any newer newer
or
versions?
or a Kennedy, even though I would never want
Oh,
to marry into
never.
that
No,
family.
no. There's too much bad stuff tied
Too
to the
much
Kennedy
bad
name.
juju in the air.
Literally in the That's terrible. If there's any Kennedy listening, uh hi.
I'm praying for you.
Praying for you, wishing you the best. Never get on a plane. Always drive a hardtop car.
Yeah. Commit your life to God.
Don't go into politics.
Don't.
Just don't. Go live out in the middle of nowhere. So Elle convinces herself that she needs to be a law student to get Warner back. How she makes that jump, I have no idea.
I don't know.
But
A did not go to B. It went to like D.
yeah. It's that meme where it's like I've connected 2 points. It's like you haven't connected shit.
Not
Like
at all.
was the Vanderbilt girl also a law student?
I don't know. I don't think she mentioned that.
Because it only said that Warner's brother was from Harvard.
Yeah. Who knows?
Anyway, yeah. So Elle goes back home and her parents are confused as to why she wants to be a law student when she has a good life here in LA. Also, I love that her parents are like, you can't go to Harvard because you're dumb. They're literally just like, you're too pretty to go. Like,
yeah, they're like lawyers are ugly.
right. Like we like fully support that you could be a lawyer and could ace Harvard, but like only ugly people are,
Yeah, you're
are
too
lawyers.
pretty to be a
And you're not,
lawyer.
yeah.
You were in a Ricky Martin video.
Yeah. The way that she included that on her extracurriculars on her Harvard
Ridiculous.
application. Amazing. Elle then goes to her student counselor and tells her that she wants to go to Harvard. Her counselor is shocked at her decision, but when Elle says that she wants to go, tells her that she needs recommendations, a killer admissions essay, and at least a 175 on the LSAT.
Yeah, the counselor was game. She was like, "Okay, I guess we're doing
She
this."
really was though. She like gaped at her for like 2 seconds and was like, "Okay, yeah, you really do want to go to Harvard."
She was like Harvard law. She was like the one in Massachusetts.
Right.
Yes. Oh, okay. Guess we're doing this.
Right. She was so supportive.
And also, how early in the year is this happening? Because Warner already knows he's going into Harvard, and Elle is just now
saying, yeah.
So what's happening there?
Because isn't it like you have to apply during spring? Because aren't all this prestigious? I can't English. Don't all of their like admissions entry end in spring?
I have no idea. I know nothing
like
about applying to law school.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe
it doesn't matter.
Who knows? Who knows? It's a movie. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? But we do know that it's at least spring, like during the movie. Back at Delta Nu, Margot and Serena walk in on Elle reading books on the LSAT. And when she tells them that she's going to Harvard, they think that she's kidding and going there only on vacation. But when she says that she's serious, they decide to help her study.
Who goes to Harvard for vacation?
I know. What's in Harvard
Out of
that you would
all
want
the
to vacay
places you
there?
could go. Hmm.
Yeah, maybe not Harvard. Especially like on the East Coast.
Yeah. Who vacations on the East Coast?
Right,
The people from the East Coast leave the East Coast for vacation.
for vacation. Like maybe like the closest they'll stay is Florida.
Yeah. Maybe they'll go to Martha's Vineyard if they're rich.
Oh yeah, but only if you're rich, bro.
Only if you're rich.
Only if you're rich. The rest of us don't go there. We then get a mixed montage of Elle studying for the LSAT and her Harvard video essay, which is pure gold, by the way.
Yes.
I am comfortable using legal jargon in my everyday life.
I object.
I object. We then see Elle taking the LSAT. And when the results arrive, she finds that she got a 179 and the whole sorority celebrates with her.
Mm-hmm.
We then see the end of Elle's video essay that is being watched by Harvard's admission board. The head isn't convinced, but the other admissions board advisors, people.
Sure. Why were they all men?
You know why they're all men.
Not a single woman.
And they're all old white men.
Yeah,
We know why.
I was like, these are the people that are deciding who goes to Harvard. That explains a lot.
It really does. And I like that she counts as like a diversity, a candidate kind of.
Yeah, I was like, this is a white man's idea of diversity, a fashion major.
Right. A blonde, super pretty fashion major.
Explains a lot. Like,
yeah,
and
really
like the head guy was like, I don't know. And they were like, but she was in a Ricky Martin video. she had letters of recommendation from Oprah. Like she's as diverse as we can get.
Right. You know what? Her whiteness isn't as white as ours because she gets more sun. She's a little cream. So technically, that counts as a color.
We have a person of color. Check that box.
Check that box.
Literally, no people of color in this.
No, absolutely not. No. There's not even like an Asian person. Like there's always that one token Asian.
Right, that
like,
one Asian person. Don't even have that.
Don't even have that.
They're literally all white. I guess.
And basically that's what Harvard's campus looks like anyway.
I guess they could pretend like Eden. What's her name? Enid? What's that woman's name that's like...
Which one?
That's like the one who is aggressively feminist.
Oh,
I guess they can pretend like she's a person of color even though she is white.
What, because her hair texture?
Because her hair texture, and she's darker than everyone else.
I mean, I guess, but geez. What diversity.
An Italian woman. Ooh.
Ooh. Her hair isn't bone straight. Ooh. So the head isn't convinced, but after his coworkers throw some of Elle's qualities and accomplishments at him, he finally gives in. We then see Elle showing up to Harvard with a moving van. And when the other students see her, Bruiser, and her room decorations, it draws a crowd and they kind of make fun of her.
Because she gave her dog Evian to drink.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Yeah, it says a lot. Elle's freshman orientation starts, and it seems like she is vastly behind the other people in her class.
I wouldn't say she's behind. I would just say she has a different background. Also, did you notice that her orientation leader is Torrance's boyfriend from Bring It On?
Is it really?
That was him. I was staring at him. I was like, why do you look so familiar? And then it just came to me.
Wow.
I was like, oh, you're that asshole from Bring It On.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
I love that they changed the name of her school. Instead of saying UCLA, they said CULA.
CULA. We love continuity in this.
Yeah. I love how they could use Harvard but couldn't use UCLA.
Right. Harvard's the bigger name here, and it still wouldn't let them. Okay. So we then see Elle's first day, and she's dressed very smart.
She wore a suit to class.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, skirt and jacket.
Yeah, she needed
and
to
a
look
tie.
like a lawyer.
And a tie.
Yeah.
She needed to exude lawyerliness. So we see her on her way to her first class, and she passes by Warner, who recognizes her.
Yeah, she does that thing where she's like, I forgot you go here. Ma'am, let's not do that. Let's not play that game.
Let's not play that game. We all knew. So he is shocked to see her, but she acts like everything is normal. And we get the iconic, what, like it's hard?
Yeah. Not hard to get into Harvard at all.
Absolutely not.
My cousin went to Harvard.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have a Harvard sweatshirt.
I have a Harvard shirt.
Neither of us went to Harvard.
No, I didn't even get to go to his graduation. It was the same week as mine. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the same week as our high school graduation.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't get to go.
So in her first class, she is severely unprepared with no supplies, books, or having done any of the homework needed for the day.
Yeah, it's like she's never been to school before. Like, you just finished your undergrad. You should know what you need to bring to class.
Like, how did she stay a 4.0 student if she didn't take any type of notes in any of her classes?
Yeah, I get like fashion, like maybe she didn't need to take notes, but like you have prerequisites you have to take.
Yeah.
Like you didn't take a biology course, a math course, nothing.
A history, something.
And then like, did she not read her syllabus ahead of time?
Right.
What's going on, Elle?
Yeah.
What's going on?
It make sense with your 4.0, please.
Also, going to law school sounds like a personal hell to me.
Why?
First off, there's way too much reading. Way too much reading. Yeah. Secondly, there's way too much memorization.
Yeah, there's way too many terms and like laws and stuff you need to know.
Mm-hmm. I have the memory of a 94-year-old dementia patient who just got spun around in a chair. I can't do it.
Love the imagery. That's
great imagery. If there's anything I'll give you, it's imagery. But no, couldn't do it. Could not do it.
Yeah.
I
can't even imagine like the papers and stuff you'd have to write.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
No, not for me.
Not a vibe.
Not a vibe. So during the class, she is embarrassed by Professor Stromwell and another student and is told to leave and come back only when she is prepared for class. Elle storms off to a bench outside, and when a guy near her asks if she's okay, she goes off. They bond over Professor Stromwell's class. He says she made him cry, not in class, but later, which I can relate.
A teacher's made you cry?
No, not the teachers, but like they give surprise like, oh, here's another paper I forgot to put on the syllabus, or here's another thing that we're adding, and I'm already stressed, and so I just go back to my room and cry.
I've literally never had a teacher add something to the class. That's weird. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. It's one of those, oh yeah, I looked over the stuff, and the stuff we're studying right now seems really important, and I know I didn't put it in the syllabus, so we're gonna add it. And I'm like, don't. No, please.
I've
don't.
Never had that happen.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Because like all of the teachers that I had, they always do the I have the right to change this and this about the syllabus and the.
Yeah, I know they put that on there, but I've never had it happen.
Yeah, I've had it happen before. And it literally sometimes would make me cry because I like had multiple other things to do that week, and I'm like, don't add that, just don't. He then gives her advice on how to handle her other professors. When she goes to ask about him, Warner shows up. They talk about her What?
Yeah. So this is a great teaching moment. If you're going to law school, which I'm praying for you,
good luck, but we're also praying for you.
I'm praying for you. Your first plan of attack should be to get a third-year mentor. Please do it. They can help you know which teachers to avoid. They can give you study tips, all of that. Go find a mentor.
Right. Do they not do that at Harvard? Because I know like we had kind of something like that my freshman year.
Really?
Yeah, they like paired us. We had like a group of girls that like they were either they lived like next door to us or across the hall from us. And we were given like a junior or freshman or junior or senior. And like if we ever needed help, we'd go to them.
Oh, maybe because I went to community college my first 2 years. And I was just thrown into the water. And they were like, yeah, figure it out.
You wanted to come here, so.
Yeah.
So they talk about her first class and the girl who made fun of her. And she shows up. When Elle asks if Warner knows her, he says that they are old friends and that they met over the summer and that they are now engaged. Her name is Vivian.
They got engaged faster than those Christian kids that go off to college.
Yeah.
Because like he was like, we met again over the summer and now and we got engaged over the summer. I was like, you got engaged in 2 months?
Right.
Weird.
Right.
Weird. Is Vivian pregnant?
Right. What's going on here?
I mean, I know I'm now at the age where, like, I guess getting pregnant can be intentional.
It can still be unintentional too.
Yeah, but yeah, anytime I hear that someone's pregnant, my first thought is, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, literally though, when someone tells me they're pregnant or I like see a pregnancy announcement, I always just say, I never say congratulations because I'm just like, did you want that?
Like if Warner and Vivian were like getting married after 2 months, I'd immediately be like, oh, she's pregnant. Got it.
100%. Or somebody's holding someone at gunpoint.
Yeah. Does she need a green card?
Right.
What's happening there?
Right. So Elle leaves and frantically drives to the first hair and nail salon that she finds. She sits at the first open spot, and when the nail tech asks what's wrong, Elle spills everything to her about getting into Harvard to seeing Vivian with Warner, her ex-boyfriend.
Ooh, also. Completely forgot about this. Found the bullet.
Okay.
He reuses nicknames with his girlfriends.
Yes.
That's trash.
And you know why he does that?
So he doesn't forget.
Multiple girls.
Yeah. So he doesn't forget their name. Yep.
He doesn't have to learn their name.
I've seen John Tucker Must Die. I know how the game goes.
Right. Oh, we should do that movie. That's a good movie. But yeah, we're on to your game, Warner.
Yeah, we see you.
You're a trash human being. So Elle asks what she should do, and the nail tech tells her that she isn't the one to ask, since her boyfriend of 8 years kicked her out and kept her dog. Which that is a garbage man. Just don't.
Absolutely.
They talk some more about Vivian when a cute UPS guy comes in. And after a wink from him, the nail tech spills her bowl. After cleaning up, she asks Elle if Warner is worth it. And when she says yes, tells her to steal him back.
That UPS man.
Yes.
Way too happy.
Yes, he's extremely happy.
Must be on drugs. The UPS man that comes into my office every day, he's always wearing sunglasses and he only says hello and goodbye.
There's no soul left in him.
No. Do you know how hard UPS people have to work?
Oh yeah, my uncle's a UPS man.
They don't have time to be that happy and smile at people and they come in, drop off their stuff and leave.
They got somewhere else to be now.
Yeah.
There's never ending packages. Like, how can you be happy about that?
Yeah, never.
Your work is never actually done. So Elle is now in Professor Callahan's class when he announces that his class is very competitive, not only for the grades, but also for a spot next year on a 4-intern team that will be part of his firm and help with real cases.
Mm-hmm. He also does the extreme version of curved grading, where like the top 10% of his class will pass and the bottom 90% will fail.
Yeah. You'll have the 8 smart people in the class pass, and then everyone else will like either slide by or they'll just fail.
Yeah. Would have dropped that class, but that's just me.
Bane of my existence.
I like the curves where like the minimum you can get is a C.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like you get you take the test and then the professor comes back and he's like, I had to adjust the curve, and you're like, oh. Well,
it sounds like a you problem. You didn't teach the material well enough.
Right. So Callahan starts this class and asks Elle a question that she embarrasses herself with. And Vivian then answers to make fun of Elle and rub in her engagement.
Yeah, it's like she learned absolutely nothing from her first day.
Right.
She's still coming to class unprepared.
Right, like we don't even know how many days are in between Professor Stromwell's class and this class. Like, homegirl had time to prepare.
She had time to prepare. Because he was like, which one of these crimes would you rather fight for? And then she was like, neither. And he was like, what?
Why? Tell me your reasoning.
He was like, you're a lawyer.
Right.
You're gonna have to do one of them.
Right. Right. Not all of your clients are going to be innocent.
Yeah.
Okay, babe. Learn that right now. Elle then tells the professor that she'd take the more dangerous client because she isn't afraid of a challenge and makes a point to Vivian. Elle then makes a show on the quad so that Warner can see her. Also, it looks like it's fall now and she's on the quad in a bikini and a jacket and like capris on, pretending to study. Like, girl.
In Massachusetts.
It's a crisp 50 at that point because she's wearing a full-on like fur fluff jacket.
And she is dressed like it is 75 degrees in LA.
She then tries to get into his study group, but Vivian turns her down while another girl makes fun of her as she tries to leave. I don't know this girl's name. It's the feminist one.
The Eden or whatever her name is. Yeah, that was so weird. She's so mean to Elle for absolutely no reason. At least I can kind of understand why Vivian is mean to Elle.
Right.
But this girl, she's completely rude for no reason.
Yeah.
Just because of wow, I can't speak either.
Yeah,
assumption. See? There we go.
Right. Like I love how she's like super,
you probably would have called me the D word.
Right.
In college. And she was like, no, I wouldn't.
Right. She's like, you know absolutely nothing about me other than how I look.
Yeah, she was like, I would literally never call you that.
Right. Like, she's the asshole for assuming.
Yeah.
I just think it's because she doesn't fit her like butch idea of feminism that she is instantly the enemy.
Yeah, she's like, you like to dress stereotypically girly.
Right.
So I don't like you.
Right. Like, bruh, you have a twisted sense of feminism if that's what you're standing for. So back in her room, Elle is feeling down and calls Margot to talk to her. And she finds out that she is wedding dress shopping because she just got engaged. And she is out with Serena. And when she tries to talk to them about her troubles, they talk over her. Which I like how they like portrayed Margot and Serena as like super supportive friends, but like the minute she actually needs them.
But then also bad friends.
Yeah. Like, y'all, that sucks. She then overhears Vivian giving info on a party out in the hallway. And when Elle asks her, Vivian tells her it's a costume party and that she wouldn't want to go. But when Elle insists, Vivian says that she can go and gives her the address. Elle shows up to the party that night dressed up as a pink bunny, and everyone stares.
That party looks so lame. People
it really did, though.
They were just sitting and standing.
Right. The music kind of sucked, too.
Yeah.
Is that how Harvard East Coast parties go?
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure Harvard is just like any other school, and they have actual parties.
Right. So Elle finds Vivian and roasts her, as she should.
Oh, yeah. If there was anything Elle could do, it was give you a good clap back.
Yeah. Yeah. She's nice, but she can just give it back just as she gets it.
Yes.
Like, do not step to Elle.
Yeah. She will hurt your feelings.
Yeah. And then smile at you and walk away.
Yeah.
When she finds Warner, they talk about school. And when she mentions Callahan's internships, Warner says that she won't get a spot.
Yeah, he says she's not smart enough, even though they go to the same school.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, you won't get the grades to make it. And she's like, bro, we both got into Harvard.
We both got into Harvard.
We both took the LSAT. Like,
what was your LSAT
what are you talking
score?
about? Right.
Mine was 179. What was yours?
Right. Let's compare, shall we? So Elle is offended by his statement, but Warner believes she isn't smart enough to make the cut and should be doing something else. Elle then has the realization that she will never be enough for him and is determined to prove him and everyone else wrong. Good for her. Elle then goes to the bookstore, still in her costume, and buys a laptop, where she runs into the guy from earlier on the benches.
Great Apple product placement.
Product placement. Like, it's subtle because you don't really see it if you don't really look at the box, but it's there.
Oh, it's fine, because later on you'll see her whenever she's in a class with her little Apple logo.
With her little Apple logo. They probably saw that scene and Apple's like, you know what? We need more placement.
Yeah.
We need more.
It's like, that was not enough.
We then see Elle putting more effort into her studying, is able to participate in class discussion, and even makes some life choices and watches the news.
So here's the thing. Elle is exercising and reading, and how could she do that and retain information? Because I tried, couldn't do it.
Yeah, I've tried to do that before.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah, like I've gotten onto the treadmill, done like a little hill and had a book to read for like an English class. I got maybe 10 pages in and I was like, I either need to stop walking or I need to stop reading. One or the other.
Yeah, I tried to do it on the elliptical at the gym one time because I saw this girl one time reading a book while doing it. And I was like, oh, 2-for-1 special.
Right.
And so tried to do it. I was like rereading stuff and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. Maybe we're just not smart enough.
I can't even listen to
multitask.
No, I can't even listen to a podcast while exercising.
Oh, me neither.
Because like I can't pay attention to what's happening.
I have to focus on one or the other.
Yeah.
Because at least with music, I can turn my brain off because I know the music. But if it's a podcast and new information,
it's something about exercising. Can't do it. If I'm like doing homework and listening to a podcast, I can do that. If I'm doing work while listening to a podcast, I can do that. I can drive while listening to a podcast, but exercising, can't do it.
It's the problem.
Yeah.
Just stop exercising.
Okay. ain't got to tell me twice. I've been going for runs every day and hate that. So cool.
Not for me. Elle then goes with Paulette to her ex-boyfriend's trailer to get her dog back. Paulette is unsure and timid in front of her ex, but Elle pushes her to go through with it. Paulette goes to the trailer, and when her ex comes out, struggles to have a conversation with him still. Elle spies on them, but steps in, claiming to be Paulette's attorney. Elle spouts a bunch of law terms and convinces the ex to give Paulette her dog back.
She says habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus.
It means anything in the situation. Also, Dewey looks like if you tapped his stomach 3 times, he would burst, and he's like talking down to Paulette.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I got rid of you. And I'm like, sir, you look like a dirty Mr. Clean. And you're sitting here talking about Paulette.
Right. You're in a dirty ass trailer and you look like you haven't showered in weeks.
Yes, give that girl
She looks
her dog
great.
back.
She looks great. And she's working a job. Come on now, who's really losing here?
Yeah, he looks like he drinks beers at 7 a.m.
Ugh. Yeah.
Trash.
Good for her for like walking out. In Callahan's class, there is a discussion about a sperm donor wanting visitation rights to a kid, and it's happening between Warner and Callahan.
That was an awful discussion.
It really was.
Why it was even happening, I'll never understand. But
maybe
like,
it was based on a real case.
Warner probably did not do the reading because he
did not.
His points were not making no sense.
Or he did, and he was thinking like he would do the same thing.
Yeah. Because even by the look on Callahan's face, you could tell Callahan was not into it. He was like, okay.
He's like, you signed up for this class? You wanted to be here? Okay. So after some discussion, Callahan says that Warner is starting to think like a lawyer. Elle enters the discussion and brings up excellent points.
Like even I could bring up this point, right. And I haven't been studying law for months.
Right. And Callahan praises her, saying that her talking points would win the case, which shocks Vivian and everyone else.
How did it shock them though? Like anyone with two brain cells could know that a sperm donor does not have parental rights.
Absolutely not. Sure, you created the product, but you didn't want the product because you donated the sperm. If you wanted the product, you would have gone to a human being.
Yeah.
Anyway, after class, Callahan tells Elle that he was impressed with her and asks if she has applied to be an intern for him. And when she says that she doesn't know, he asks for her resume, which she gives and is on pink paper and is scented.
Yay.
And she leaves.
Do people just walk around with their resumes? Am I supposed to be doing that?
Right.
Is that what adults do?
I don't know. Honestly.
Someone let us know.
Yeah. I have it on my Google Drive, but that's only because I need to edit it and then like put it as a PDF and then send it out. But I don't have like a finished one on me as a physical copy.
Yeah. Am I supposed to do? Let me know. Am I supposed to be walking around with a copy of my resume?
Right. Please, because I need a new job.
I don't think I've ever printed my resume.
I haven't either.
So I know you're supposed to do it on like special paper.
Yeah, like the heavyweight paper.
Which is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, also expensive.
That's a form of classism, but we'll talk about that later.
We then see Bench Guy and Callahan talking about Elle as he gives Callahan the Wyndham file. We then see Elle and Paulette celebrate Christmas at the nail salon. I don't know if it's winter or spring semester technically for them. I don't know if they go by semesters. But the new semester spring
at this point, because it's after winter break.
Yeah, mine was still called winter, like when I came back from Christmas.
Oh, our winter break was in our Christmas break. Like if you wanted to take classes during the Christmas break.
Oh, it was called winter.
That was winter, and like the classes were like expedited. So like you learned like you had a class every single day.
Yeah.
And you learned a whole bunch of information.
Yeah, you take a 8-week class and make it into like 4.
Yeah.
Or like 2. Yeah. I've taken one of those. They suck.
Girl, couldn't catch me doing it. I took summer and I thought that was too much. So I can't imagine taking a winter one.
Well, I didn't take a winter. It was technically spring, but it was an expedited class. It was an expedited online class. And we had to teach ourselves.
Wait a minute. I'm just now looking at your shirt. Are you wearing my school's shirt? It looks like my school. Like it's like our color. Oh, it's orange. Never mind.
San Francisco Giants?
It kind of looked like purplish, yellowish. And I was like,
kind of, maybe in the light.
Yeah, I was like, is that my school's shirt? I was like, I don't even have one of those.
I was about to say, I don't think you have one, do you?
Nope. we went home for 2 weeks for COVID, never went back. and I was completely going to buy like a sweatshirt or something. That never happened.
Never happened.
And
I
I'm not,
finally got a one of my school sweatshirts only because the store that was selling them was going out of business. So they were selling everything at half off. So that's the only time I got something because everything is so expensive.
I don't think I'm ever going back to my campus, so that's not going to happen. Um, and I think I get a discount with my alumni card, but I'm still never going back on my campus. So
No one's ever going to catch you there ever again.
no.
So the new semester starts, and when Elle sees a crowd in one of the buildings, class buildings, finds that they're looking at the list of first years Callahan has picked to help him on a real case.
Why?
No.
Why first years? Interesting.
Maybe to give them experience?
Why didn't he just do double the amount of second years instead of doing some first year? Weird.
We then see Vivian and Warner happy that they made the group. And when Elle checks, she also finds that she has made it, which shocks everyone. Which is strange because there's only 4 names on the list and you would have seen Elle's name.
You would have seen Elle's name. Also, did y'all not realize that she was one of the top people in your class last semester?
Right.
Like, weird.
Y'all really just want to hate on Elle to hate on Elle.
Yeah.
Elle then goes up to Warner and Vivian and brings up the wonderful 4 hours they spent in a hot tub together and says that making the list was way better before leaving to go shopping.
She feels so much better. Hello, much better. It's much better.
Also, 4 hours in a hot tub.
Right. Stop lying, Elle.
Stop lying.
There's no way.
Also, there is no way you're making me spend more than maybe 30 minutes in water like that. Y'all are for prunes by the time y'all came out. Do not lie to me.
I know from experience that if I am drunk, I can stay in a hot tub forever.
So Elle, Warner, and Vivian show up at the same time to Callahan's office and are awkward for a minute before Elle compliments Vivian and leaves. I love how Elle is always the bigger person.
Always the bigger person.
Good for her. Because at some point, I probably would have snapped.
Oh, I most definitely would have slapped Vivian at least once.
Mm-hmm. The interns are all together when Callahan comes in and starts to tell them about the Wyndham case. They are defending Brooke Wyndham, whose older, wealthy husband was found dead. Vivian instantly thinks gold digger, but Brooke was wealthy on her own because of her fitness empire. Elle recognizes the name, and everyone finds that Elle knows her because Brooke is a Delta Nu, and she had taken a fitness class from her back in LA.
A fitness class that helps you lose 3 pounds in one class.
That sounds like hell, but I do it.
Sounds like hell, but like sign me up.
Yeah, right. Right. Honestly, go for a week.
Yeah. Then
done.
I'm ready for summer.
Right. Right. Maybe go once a month, like for a week after.
Yeah. A good like tune up.
Yeah. Just to make sure everything is still functioning.
And in this house, we do not stand Allie Larder, but we do stand Brooke Taylor.
Yeah. There's a difference, guys.
There's a difference. Trust me.
Yes. Callahan then tells the group that Brooke is likely going to be found guilty after she was found standing over the body by the pool boy and her stepdaughter, Chutney.
Terrible name.
Bench guy walks in and is introduced as Emmett Richmond, who is an associate of Callahan's and who stays on Harvard's campus to do Callahan's research. Callahan gives more info that the gun is missing and that the body was dead for 30 minutes before the cops arrived, giving Brooke enough time to hide the gun. Elle pipes up then and says she doesn't believe that Brooke could have done it. We then see the group interviewing Brooke about the incident. Brooke claims that she didn't do it, but Callahan questions her on things that the DA will likely ask her to make her look guilty. When they ask for her alibi, she says that she won't tell, under no circumstances. Callahan then calls it a day, and when Elle walks by Brooke, she recognizes her. They talk for a bit, and Brooke is happy to have her on her team. Elle is then getting her nails done by Paulette, and they talk about the case, which Shouldn't they not be? Shouldn't she not be doing
No,
that?
they most definitely should not be talking
Okay.
about the case.
Especially before like they actually go to court.
Yeah. She's breaking attorney-client
Yeah.
privilege.
Yeah. I love how she picks and chooses. She'll keep Brooke's alibi later in the movie, but she will not keep it here.
No.
So they are talking when the UPS man walks in. Paulette freaks out, and when the package is hers, can't handle the situation, so Elle has to. When the UPS man leaves, Elle asks why she didn't make a move on him when she could. Elle then teaches her the bend and snap that has proven it works to get a man and a date.
How?
I don't know.
If I saw a girl bend and snap in real life, I would think she was having a stroke. Like little dinosaur arm thingies they do near their boobs is weird.
Bend and snap. Rawr. I'm glad I've hitched my podcast wagon to yours.
Yes. We have the same mental illness. It's
We
great.
really do. The other ladies in the salon also join in to learn. Also, what was that little dance break that they had in the middle of that too?
Oh, that woman that was like galloping? I don't know.
So much going on. So back at Callahan's, the group tried to find who could be guilty and that they can't rule out Brooke until they have an alibi. Elle then shows up to see Brooke is she in jail?
Yeah. That's
jail? Okay. She shows up to see Brooke in jail and brings her a gift basket, which I don't think she's allowed to have.
allowed.
Elle then tells Brooke that she's there to get her alibi so that she could help her. Brooke says that her alibi would shame her because of the fitness empire that she has. Brooke finally breaks, though, and tells Elle that she was getting liposuction during the time of the murder. And after some shock, Elle promises not to tell anyone about it. Excuse me. At Callahan's, Callahan tells the interns that they have 2 interviews coming up. The prison log shows that Elle went to see Brooke under an alias, as her sister called Dilta knew.
Yeah.
Not very smart.
No.
When Callahan asks Elle about it and if she got the alibi, she said she did, but she promised she wouldn't tell.
Okay.
So she doesn't.
Okay. Here's my gripe with this scene. So he's like, why were you there? And she was like, I was there to get her alibi. He's like, did you get it? And she said, yes. And then he was like, great, what is it? And she's like, I can't tell you. Why would she bring up the fact that she was there to get the alibi?
Alibi, if she wasn't going to say anything.
She wasn't going to say anything.
Right. She could have just said she went there, asked, failed.
Yeah.
Came back.
And came back. She was like I thought as a Delta Nu sister, she would have confided in me. She didn't.
Yeah.
We need to come up with a new strategy. That's why I didn't mention it to you.
Right. And then I love how the alibi is never used anyway.
No.
It's never brought up. So she literally could have just not said anything about getting the alibi.
Yeah.
Elle is smart, but not that smart.
Not that smart.
She's not like street smart.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm. Callahan gets angry with her and leaves and asks the others to reason with her, but when she won't break, they give up. Callahan comes back and says that the ex-wife isn't concerned about her interview coming up because she's at a spa. Definition of unbothered.
Yeah.
Elle volunteers to question her, and Callahan sends Emmett with her. They show up at the spa, and Emmett and Elle talk about Brooke's trustworthiness, and they banter a little bit in the car. Elle and Emmett find the ex-wife in the spa, and they question her. They find that the daughter, Chetney, said that Brooke was a bitch and insinuates that Brooke is sleeping with the pool boy. Why is it cabana boy instead of pool boy?
I don't know.
Are they the same thing? I don't know.
No.
I'm not rich enough to know.
A cabana boy works at a resort and they deliver drinks. A pool boy cleans the pool.
Okay, yeah. So she was really trying to play up the pool boy.
Yeah.
So Elle After they interview the ex-wife, Emmett thinks that what the ex-wife was saying could be true, potentially, but Elle isn't having it. On their way back to campus, Emmett and Elle have some more banter before he drops her off. On her way back to her room, Elle overhears a girl rudely turning down the smart kid from Elle's class. I don't know his name.
Who knows? Who cares?
Elle then goes to help him out by pretending they slept together and had a great time before saying she's moved on and leaves, which entices the girls back. Elle is then in her room looking over the case notes when Vivian comes by for them. Vivian is impressed by Elle's persistence to keep Brooke's alibi. They then bond over how men suck, and Elle finds out that Warner was waitlisted and his father had to call to get him in.
Now he really can't be saying anything to Elle.
Yeah.
Because if you're so smart, why'd you get waitlisted?
Right. You got into Harvard by the skin of your dad's teeth, not even yours.
Yeah.
It was your father who had to call. How embarrassing.
That's very embarrassing.
And Vivian still wants to marry this
man? Vivian's not the smartest, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Also, her standards must be extremely low then.
Very low. Very low.
Do better for yourself, Vivian. The Wyndham trial then starts, and the first witnesses called to the stand are the ex-wife, Chetney, and the pool boy named Enrique. During the questioning with Enrique, he is questioned about his thong uniform, and when asked, tells the court him and Brooke have been having an affair. The judge then calls for an adjournment, with the trial starting back up again the next morning. Before Brooke is taken away, she tells Elle that the affair never happened, and Elle says that she'll handle it. At the nail salon, the UPS man shows up again with a package for Paulette.
Who is sending Paulette all these packages?
Probably Elle. Honestly.
Oh, yeah. She's like, we're gonna get this right.
Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna give her every opportunity.
I will send you an empty box every day if I have to.
Maybe I'll put something in it so there's a little weight, but
yeah, that's it.
I'm literally just sending him to you, not the packages. He checks her out for real for a second. And when he asks her to sign for the package, she goes to sign, but thinks about it before dropping the pen. And when she goes to pick it up, goes to do the bend and snap, when he also goes down to pick up the pen as well. And she smacks him in the face.
Breaking his nose. Yay.
Breaking his nose. Elle is at court and is waiting to get water from the water fountain when she gets a call from Paulette telling her that she broke the UPS man's nose. When it's her time, she encourages her that everything will work out because she helped one of her other sisters who vomited on a man. When it's her time for water, Enrique cuts in front of her, and when Elle taps her foot at him, he turns around and insults her in her outdated Prada shoes. Elle takes offense before coming to a realization. Elle runs back into the courtroom and tells Emmett that Enrique is gay because he knew what kind of shoes she was wearing, and Brooke backs her up by saying he left the share CD in the pool house.
Is he gay when you're a being?
It's hard to guarantee. Is he gay or you're a being?
Well, hey, don't look at me.
You see, they rate their voice up different. Okay. We're just saying, if you haven't seen the Legally Blonde musical, please do.
Please watch it. It's hilarious.
The songs are great. It's funny. Callahan isn't impressed by Elle's insight, but Emmett promises Elle that he'll handle it. Court is back in session, and Callahan questions him. And when he is done, Emmett stands up, wanting to ask his own questions. And your boyfriend's name is?
Chuck.
Carlos. Oh.
It's Chuck in this movie.
It's
Kelley.
Chuck in the movie. I'm sorry. Emmett asks Enrique a series of questions before asking what his boyfriend's name is, and he answers that it's Chuck. Everyone is shocked, and when Enrique denies it, a man stands up, calling him a bitch, and walks out.
Why was he there?
Yeah, why was he there? Why would you be in court with your boyfriend? Your secret boyfriend,
Your
by the
secret
way.
boyfriend telling people that you're having an affair with this woman.
I'm straight. You were not yesterday.
You were not yesterday.
Okay. So that night at Callahan's office, Elle is leaving when Vivian tells her that Callahan is looking for her. In his office, Callahan tells her how impressed he was with her in court and what a great lawyer she'll be. Whoa. What a great lawyer she'll be. They talk about her future and how cutthroat it can be before Callahan makes a move on her, which Vivian sees from the open door and stalks off. Elle is insulted and leaves the office. But before Elle can leave, Vivian confronts her, assuming she's sleeping with Callahan, and says that she should sleep with the jury so that they'll win the case.
Two observations were made. Two observations. One, Callahan is bad at seducing people. He didn't even try that thing where you like flirt over a couple of weeks before propositioning her.
Yeah.
He just straight up propositioned her.
Yeah. He wasn't nice to her in any way beforehand. He didn't try to get alone time with her.
No, it's just one night.
Just went in for the kill.
Yeah, one night he was just like, I'm going to sleep with you. Like, where's this coming from, sir? Right. Second observation, Vivian is dumb. Did she really think that Elle and Callahan had sex in 30 seconds?
Right.
I know he's old, but he's not that old.
Yeah. Maybe she saw it and was like, oh, maybe they've been sleeping together for a long time, because how else did she make the intern list? I mean, that's one explanation. That's the only explanation that would make sense.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Sure. This man is writing his company's name on a booty call. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
No, I know that men are dumb, but men aren't that dumb. I promise you they're not that dumb. They're not going to risk their money. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, they're not going to risk their career and their lifestyle.
No.
For a piece of ass.
A one pretty girl? No.
No, absolutely not. Elle is almost out of the building when she's stopped by Emmett. When he asks what's wrong, she says that she's quitting and that law school was a mistake. She tells him about Callahan making a move on her and says that she's going back to LA. Emmett is shocked and asks her to stay, but she walks out. The next day, Elle is packed up and saying goodbye to Paulette. She cries that no one is taking her seriously because of her looks and their expectations for her to be anything but a lawyer. Professor Strongwell is at the salon and encourages Elle to not let one asshole ruin what she's got going with law school. We then see Emmett and Vivian talking with Brooke when she questions if Callahan, the asshole, is going to win her case, and Emmett assures her that they are going to try. Vivian makes a joke about him and Elle when Emmett gets angry with her. When Brooke asks what's up, Emmett tells her that Elle quit after she got felt up by Callahan. Vivian feels bad for her actions, but Emmett says he might have a solution.
Vivian didn't even think that was a possibility, and that's so funny to me. She was just like, nope, there's absolutely no way she was sexually assaulted. She just is a slut.
Yeah.
Vivian.
Who's the worst person here?
You're kind of a bad person, Vivian.
Yeah, not kinda. She literally saw like that happen and then saw her get sexually harassed.
Yeah.
And was like, no, she wanted that. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, frick you, dude. Brooke then shows up to court and fires Callahan. And when he asks who he was replaced with, Elle walks in with the smart guy.
I love how we just don't know his name.
And I'm not looking it up.
Nope, it's fine. He doesn't even talk.
Yeah, he doesn't talk that much anyway, so
it's fine.
He doesn't need a name. We all know who we're talking about.
And
when Callahan
also have to say this. Okay. I don't care how much I like Elle. There is no way I'm letting a first-year law student represent me.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, even with the assistance of Emmett.
Yeah, not going to happen.
When Callahan says that Elle cannot represent Brooke, The smart guy opens a book with proof that says that she can. The judge then calls for the counselors, and after some debate, Elle is allowed to represent Brooke with Emmett supervising. Paulette, the UPS man, Margot, and Serena then show up to support Elle in court.
How did Margot and Serena get there?
Yeah, I don't know. Court starts up again, and Elle starts a little rough with her questioning with Chutney, but gets her footing when Chutney mentions that she washed her hair in the shower. Elle questions Chutney about perm maintenance and insinuates that Chutney heard the gunshot and that she had time to hide the gun after shooting her dad. Chutney gets all cut up and yells that she shot her father, thinking she was getting Brooke instead.
Chutney is dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb as rocks. Dumb. You do not sit on a stand under oath and admit that you murdered someone.
Right. Just don't say anything.
Don't say anything. Just be like, I wore a cap. Something. I didn't put my hair in the water, actually. I'm misremembering. Something.
I washed my body only.
Yeah.
Maybe I spilled something or my feet were dirty. I just wanted to clean my feet.
Yeah. And now when you go to your trial, there's nothing you can do because they have a confession under oath.
Right.
You're going to jail.
Yeah. Like, come on, man.
Let's think a little.
Yeah, think a little bit.
I'm changing the name of this podcast to How to Get Away with Murder because we've been seeing way too many people do some really dumb things in these movies.
Yeah, and we've given way too much good advice.
Yeah.
On how to do it correctly.
Yes. So. Not enough to actually do it because I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
Head very full. But I'm full. I won't give the really useful stuff away.
Yeah.
Just like
we're keeping that for ourselves.
Yeah, just the obvious stuff.
Yeah.
Like don't admit.
We're correcting the things in this movie.
Yeah.
We're not giving you the real stuff that we would do. Okay.
Yeah.
We're just options.
Not that I would ever do anything.
Yeah, of course not.
I'm too stressed already.
Yeah. I'm too anxious to really do anything anyway. So
yeah.
The court is shocked, but after some time celebrates Elle's win. Elle is interviewed after the court is released, and after that, Warner catches up to her. He congratulates her and tries to get back with her, but Elle drops him, saying that she needs a smart boyfriend if she's going to make partner by 30.
Did he even break up with Vivian before he did this?
Probably not.
He was just gonna...
Absolutely not.
He was just gonna test the waters and be like, does she want me back? Yeah. And then if she did, it'd be like, sorry, Vivian. I'm gonna need that ring back.
Yeah, real quick. Sorry, honey, but
sorry. I need to check it for a spot. Immediately puts it on Elle's finger.
2 years later, Elle's class is graduating, and she is introduced as the president of the class and gives an inspiring speech about passion and law. Once she is done, we get an update on how each person is doing. Vivian dumped Warner. Good for her.
Good for her.
She and Elle are now besties.
I hope she also went to therapy.
Right. I hope she worked on herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warner graduated without honors, a girlfriend, or job offers, which he deserves.
Good. That's really bad because isn't his whole family full of lawyers? Like he couldn't even get a job at one of their firms. That's bad.
They literally saw him and they're like, nepotism is not going to save you.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Like you should have stepped it up when we got you into Harvard. There's nothing you can do now.
Right. My last lifeline to you was getting you into Harvard.
Yeah.
Paula and the UPS man are married and are now expecting their first kid, a girl named Elle. Oh. Emmett quit Callahan's firm and opened his own practice. And him and Elle have been dating for 2 years, and he is planning on proposing to her tonight.
Yay!
Yay! And that's the end of the movie.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, I'm gonna hit you with some movie facts.
I'm ready.
You know how we said Elle was super smart for getting from a fashion major into Harvard?
Yes.
So a perfect LSAT score is 180. Therefore, Elle's score of 179 puts her in the top 0.1%.
Look at her go.
Look at her go.
Look at her go.
I love that for her. So, Legally Blonde is based on a book by Amanda Brown that was inspired by her real life experience at Stanford Law School.
Did you know how close Stanford is? I didn't even like apply to Stanford because like it kind of went out of my mind that it was so close. It's so close.
Yeah.
I should have applied to go to Stanford. Would I have gotten in? Who knows? But
well, you could say that you applied.
I could say I applied. And maybe I could slip through the cracks because maybe they need like one or two more Black people. And they'd like,
you know what?
Well, your grades aren't terrible.
But you can get that diversity in.
Yeah, the diversity. Like I was on a whole bunch of teams in high school. I was my social vice president. I had a 3.0. Like
let's go.
They could have slipped me in there.
Right. So Brown said in an interview that she wrote her whole book on pink paper with her pink furry pen and finally found an agent who picked it up out of a slush pile because it was on pink paper.
Good for her.
Good for her. So the role of Elle Woods almost went to Christina Applegate. Yeah. I will also tell you the other ladies that were looked at.
Okay. Charlize
Theron?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
She seems too like tough to
play
Elle Woods.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Gwyneth Paltrow?
Maybe.
She has a look down.
I'd have to see an audition tape. Maybe.
Yeah. Alicia Silverstone?
No.
Hard no?
Because it just would have been Cher at Harvard. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Christina, no, not Christina Applegate again. Katherine Heigl?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have liked Elle. I wouldn't have liked Elle if Katherine Heigl played Elle.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Again, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I like what's her name too much for her to be to anyone else be Elle.
Yeah.
At this point. To prepare for her role as Elle Woods, Reese Witherspoon spent 2 weeks studying the behavior of sorority girls, as she did not want to portray a stereotypical airhead sorority image. She states on the DVD commentary that they were all very kind and polite, and she enjoyed her time with them. She also observed women shopping from the cafe at a Neiman Marcus and attended law school for a day.
What does that mean? Attended law school for a day? She sat in a class?
Probably walked around campus, went to some classes.
Okay.
Also, this last movie fact is kind of sad. The Chihuahua who played Bruiser was named Mooney, and he died on March 10, 2016 at the age of 18.
Why would you tell me that? Why would you tell me that?
Because I was so sad to read it. I'm like, if I have to be sad, so does he.
I did not need to know that. Bummer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to compose ourselves. Compose yourself.
No, okay.
Can you do that? Are you okay? You need a minute?
I'm good.
You got it? You're good? Okay. All right. So is this movie iconic?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
I'm convinced this movie put Harvard on the map. I'm convinced no one knew what Harvard was until this movie came out.
Probably.
This movie made Harvard a top 3 school. You're welcome, Harvard.
You're welcome. Or it went from bottom 3 in the top 3 to number 1.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Elle Woods.
Thank you, Elle Woods.
I hope she gets like a percentage from like commissions.
I hope she has an honorary degree.
Right.
If she
Right.
doesn't, somebody work on that right now. That would be good
Right.
press. Do it
Right.
now.
Come on now. Like make her give a graduation commencement speech
Yeah.
because like she did so much for Harvard and for law.
Yeah, and for law. She made so many people want to go to law school. Not me though,
Mhm.
but so many people.
Yeah, not me, but
Not
there are
me.
others who were. Yeah.
My cousin went to law school. Maybe she
Yeah, she was inspired.
was inspired by Elle Woods.
You got to get that 179 and be just like Elle.
Yeah. Also, I learned something very important.
Okay.
If you live in California, you don't need to go to law school. You could just take the bar.
Yeah.
So find someone to teach you how to take the bar,
Yeah. Take some
and
classes.
then you can become a lawyer if you pass. If you pass.
Right, if you pass.
If
You have
you
to
pass.
pass first.
You have to pass. Don't get it twisted. Like you can't just take
Right.
the test and then you automatically become a lawyer. You have to
Yeah,
pass
no.
it.
Yeah, there's a little bit more. I know the movie kind of like sped up how you get into Harvard and become a lawyer, but yeah.
Yeah. There are multiple tests. If you go to law school, there are multiple tests. But if you
Yes.
skipped law school, you'll have to study with like a private tutor, like Kim Kardashian is doing. And then you take the bar and then you become a lawyer.
So, any recommendations this week?
Yes. So I mentioned the album, I think, last week. But this song is perfection, so I have to.
Okay.
It's Hot Like Fire, Timbaland's Groove Mix, because apparently the version of Hot Like Fire I've heard my entire life is not the original version. It's a remix.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was listening to the album, and then you know how on your thing it'll say what song is playing next. It was like Hot Like Fire, and I was like, ooh, I'm ready. And so it started playing, and I was like, what is this? This is not Hot Like Fire. And then so I listened to it and I was like, okay, that wasn't it. And then eventually the version I know came up and it said Hot Like Fire, Timbaland's Groove Mix. And I was like, this is it. This is the song. This is the song that makes me want to start shaking, make me want to have fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you listen to the song Hot Like Fire, Timbaland's Groove Mix by Aaliyah, great song. Makes you want to dance, makes you want to have fun. My second recommendation is the movie Cruella. It's free on Disney Plus now. So of course I watched it because like I wasn't going to pay for it. Especially when I only had to wait 3 months. So I just waited. Good movie. I liked it.
Okay, good.
It's one of those things where they like make them out to not be the villain. So
yeah,
I heard they're making a second one.
Oh,
so they're gonna have to make her the villain in that one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the story's not gonna make sense.
Yeah, you're gonna have to redo 101 Dalmatians.
I was like, wow, that was fun, but like, how did we get from this to 101 Dalmatians where she's trying to kill 100 puppies? Like, puppies. What?
Right. What made her snap?
Yeah, we're gonna have to fix this.
Give me the villain arc.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
I need it.
I need it.
I want to see her go full villain.
Yes, please.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. So my first recommendation is Eyes Blue Like the Titanic Part 2.
Girl, these titles.
Hey, I was going to jokingly recommend the Dragon Tales Trap remix I sent you.
Oh, I've never listened to it. I never listened to it.
But I'm still insulted by your I listen to 5-year-old nursery rhyme music.
You do.
So I do not. Also, there's a bunch of people on this song, so I'm not gonna say all the names. I'll just put it in the recommendation.
Okay.
Also, I'm sure you can just look up Eyes Blue Like the Titanic Part 2 and find it.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that.
No, well, I'm not talking to you. Not right now.
Okay, cool.
Not everything's about you. Just kidding.
Not true, but okay.
And my second recommendation is a small business called Totally Good Time.
Okay.
And they make clothing and accessories and stuff like that based off of pop culture stuff.
Oh, okay.
So they have shirts inspired by Jurassic Park, 10 Things I Hate About You. That's their newest drop. They have stuff for Legally Blonde. They have shoot, what's the one with Cher in it again?
Burlesque?
No.
That's the only movie with Cher I've ever seen.
No, not Cher. The character Cher. Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, Clueless.
Clueless, yeah. Yes.
You said Cher, and I was like, do you?
Yeah, you thought the person. Yeah. Their stuff is so cool, by the way. I have one of their shirts with the I wanted it to be you. I wanted it to be you so badly from You've Got Mail with little daisies on it. It's so cute.
Have I seen You've Got Mail?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Jordan. I know it's been a year and we've done a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But
honestly, after we're done with these movies, they completely go out of my mind. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot we did that movie.
I am so dead. I can't wait to see which movies you forget next year.
Go listen to that episode.
Yes. If you do have an episode, go listen to it. Okay, and that's it for me.
Well, that was a wild ride. Thank you for listening.
That was a wild ride. Thank you so much.
Don't forget to follow us on our social media. We have a Twitter and an Instagram. They're both at SY2II Podcast. We also have a YouTube channel where you can listen to old episodes. We have some very interesting comments. Very interesting on there.
Really?
Very.
I don't think I've ever looked. I'll have to look next time.
Okay. Also, don't forget to send us your movie request or your movie stories at our email, sy2iipodcast@gmail.com.
Spooky season is coming up. We are not
Whoa.
We are not opposed to starting spooky season early.
No, we are not. We are not at all. Christmas is a different story for me, but spooky season starts in September. Yep. Can't wait for hi buddy. Can't wait for Halloween. Can't wait for haunted houses. Can't wait for corn mazes. Can't wait.
Right.
I'm gonna need it to rain one or two times so that the sky can be nice. I just want it to be
under 70. 70 being the highest, 75 maybe being the highest. I just want it under 70.
It's gonna be 90.
And I want rain.
It's gonna be 90 at work tomorrow. Not looking forward to that.
Absolutely not.
And I'm still not going to be able to breathe at work tomorrow. The air quality where I work is still unhealthy. Ooh. Yay. Yeah. Also, don't forget to share us with your friends and your family. Subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever you listen.
So many options.
And YouTube. You can subscribe there too. Don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Really helps us out. Helps us get put on the charts or whatever it's called.
Get us to number 1.
We'll never be number 1.
We'll never be number 1.
Yeah.
But you never know.
You never know. Also,
top 100.
Okay. Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with top 200. Just,
Yeah. I'd be happy just being there.
Yeah, we're just happy to be here at this point.
Also, don't forget to wear your mask. Yeah. Thank you. Please get vaccinated. It's getting bad out here. Let's get them shots. Because honestly, when these third shots come around, I will be first in line. I ain't playing with Delta. Not playing. And if I need to get one every day for the rest of my life, I will. If it means I can go out and have fun, absolutely.
Yeah, Jordan's not playing about his vacations no more.
No. Mm-mm.
He's not.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to cancel my cruise in November, and I want to cry.
Hmm.
I
I'm
want to go
sad
to
for you. I really wanted you guys to
I
go.
want to go to Mexico so bad, but like, it's looking bad out here.
I wanted more you and Brandy stories.
Oh yeah, and we have like a drink package where we could get like free drinks all day. Oh, those stories were gonna come. Stories were gonna come.
Oh, I'm
Um,
being robbed.
you are. Also wash your hands. Soap,
Please.
water, 20 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dry.
This is not even a COVID thing anymore. This is just a
No,
hygienic thing.
it's just hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all be nasty out here.
Disgusting.
And for what?
All the women out there, don't ever touch a man's hand.
Don't.
Please, please, please. Yeah. And stay iconic.
Stay iconic, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.